and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna review approval of the agenda from December 16th. Look at those guys. And John, look at the December 16th first, and also December 21st. We'll look at it in a minute. As soon as everybody's done, let me know. You guys scan through those notes, everybody?
I'm good.
Okay, motion to accept the December 16th notes from the Board of Trustees,
So moved.
everybody?
Second.
Second, okay. Everybody say aye?
Aye.
Nay? Okay, it's accepted. Approval of December 21st meeting in reference to the fire chief. Special meeting, okay. And is that the one, they're looking for a fire chief, is that what that is? Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
Yes, sir.
you're supposed to be on number 2,
Yeah.
approval of the agenda?
We did that, we just did that.
Oh, you
We're
did that?
approving consent agenda.
Yep.
Oh, that's already completed?
The agenda's here,
Okay, yeah.
your number 2 is to approve the agenda, okay?
Yep,
Okay?
yep.
Your board stuff will come up,
Oh,
As you go
yeah,
along.
that's true.
Right.
okay?
That's true, I forgot about that.
Okay?
I'm jumping ahead.
You're jumping ahead just a
Just a
little.
wee bit, just a wee
That's all
bit.
right.
Just a wee bit.
Okay.
We know you're working with one eye, so we're gonna give you a break tonight.
Okay. Now, we're gonna have this, the public hearing here, I think, if I'm not mistaken, supposed to go ahead and read.
Number 2, you wanna do first, okay?
Review and approval.
Approval of agenda.
You got it. There you go.
Approval of
You
agenda,
got it.
excuse me, approval of agenda.
And I'd like to add an agenda item,
Yep, yep,
and that's to, that's gonna go under new business F.
yep.
So that would be to form a committee to create an implied street grid to guide future development patterns. It's hinted at in our master plan, but it's not included, so.
Okay, to form a committee for, what was that again? Ben, one more
The-
time.
What was that?
Alright, so that's to add an new agenda item under new business. It'd be letter F, and that would be to form a committee to create an implied street grid to guide future development patterns.
Okay,
So a
Thank
street, basically a street committee is what you're saying?
Roger.
Right, okay.
okay.
Alright.
Okay. Can we go ahead and,
I'll second that. Yep, go ahead.
Okay.
Yep.
your motion first,
Go
okay.
ahead and discuss it.
Okay, Nate? Your motion, second motion, take a vote on it?
Yeah.
Brock?
Yep.
I'm trying to remember everybody's
David,
name.
yes.
David? And Ben?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
yep, okay. Everybody, aye?
Aye.
Nay? It passed. Okay, now, where are we at? Public hearing?
Public hearing.
Public hearing, okay.
Yep.
Okay, we, if I could, I might have to have somebody read all that stuff right there. Special land use, for the home daycare, and parcel 61-11-02803000-0019-00 at 5771 Whipple Trail. That's, Do we look at that or not? We just,
You wanna ask for the applicant to come up and
okay, yeah, I'm
explain.
sorry. Is that, the person for that, are they here?
Yeah.
Oh, if you wanna come up and,
Just give a brief
Yeah,
summary of what you wanna do,
what's going on?
okay?
Yeah.
So the board
Yeah. Let's see if I can-
may have questions they may wanna ask you.
Perfect. So I've applied for an in-home group daycare license through the state of Michigan. Basically, I will watch up to 12 children in my home on Whipple Trl. From the hours of about 5:30 to 5 p.m.
You get 12 children?
Up to 12
Okay.
children. Yep. So the plan is to have 6 for myself during the school year, and then I'll have to bring an assistant on in the summer months.
Okay.
And that's where we'll
So you're
reach
gonna
about
have
the 12.
a few more assistants? You're gonna have
Just,
helpers
yeah, in the summertime.
sometime?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
And this is the same location you were at the previous meeting?
Yep.
That we weren't able to
Same location.
discuss, okay.
So we've
Yep.
kind of got a nice setup. Upstairs is fully isolated to where we can have our personal residence, and then downstairs we've got enough space to have, kitchen, area for them to play, napping, all that good stuff.
How much, are we allowed to ask questions right now?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
How much space is required for 12 children?
About 424 square feet. I
And
believe.
it
It's
shows
like
here-
35 square feet per child.
It shows here that you have your dedicated area as being 322 feet. Does that mean you'll still stay within the limit
Yeah.
per child? Okay.
Mhm. And what Egelston says we're allowed to have for running a business out of our home.
All right. And then if, let's say you ever did want to increase up to 12, would there be any possible way for you to increase the dedicated area?
Based on township ordinance, I don't think I can use any more on the floor plan of my home. Yes, I could use more space.
So I'm just wondering, is this gonna be set in stone? Like, is this, when we vote on this, is it gonna be approved only for the 322 feet, or do we even care? Like, how many square feet?
No, but you're gonna have to come in and probably let us know, or let us know if you're gonna expand also, because,
Correct.
yeah, that's something that we need to know.
But you have the ability to expand right now, don't you?
Yes, I have more room in my lower level that I could utilize. But for
Could,
right now,
but-
we're just using it
Could
as.
but won't, right?
Could but won't, yeah.
So
But you-
why don't you add that now, so you don't have to come here later and like amend it or tell us what to do? Like updates like that, I don't want it to cost you more money.
Right,
And if it's expandable, even if you don't choose to, like that's not something we're gonna enforce. My wife worked at a daycare center for many years. That's something the state is gonna enforce.
right.
And I don't want you to arbitrarily just like limit yourself and have to come back here, waste your time and ours and your money.
We do have another problem too, is that if, and I'm sorry, Nate, you wanna say something? Go ahead.
Well, I just, from previous, she was here previously and explained it, and the way I understood it was that's all her state license is allowing her to do currently.
That's.
So she's already applied for the
Right.
state license,
Mhm.
so she can't ask for more at this time. So she would have to go back to the state and the township.
But I just
So-
don't want her to
So-
have to come back here
Right,
if she
the-
makes a change.
The way
She
it
would already have
is-
to go through the state, because that's all
Yeah.
her license through the state is allowing her to have with
This-
the number of, employees
Yeah,
that she has.
minimum
Correct.
is,
Correct.
the state is actually less restrictive than the township. The township set a
Right.
certain amount that we can use for the in-house, so that's what we have to be able to
Remember,
use.
she's limited to a square foot because of a home occupation, okay?
Right.
All right?
My concern also was the fact that you're gonna have to get, if you get expand, you're
Where's
gonna have
the
to get the
ordinance for that?
fire, you're gonna have to get fire.
Under home occupation, okay?
You're still gonna get
You
it.
guys let us, we will definitely expand out.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be,
If you don't mind coming back, and if you do expand, if you don't mind coming back and explain, that you're gonna do this, and that, it's not a problem for us, if you don't mind doing that.
oh no, it's good.
So we can approve this right
More
now.
rooms for kids to run around, absolutely.
No, we can approve this, so that way we've got it right there, so. Any questions from anybody else?
Do you have a license by the state? You've applied
This
for it?
is the last thing that I need for them to come out and look.
Okay,
Last step.
Yeah.
okay. And I'm looking at this site plan. There's no Kate up in the corner. Is that your initials?
Yes.
Jeff, I'll say, so
Yes.
you look at the site plan.
I actually visited this
Okay.
site.
You don't have any issues with
Do not,
the way it is?
no.
Okay. I see two doors, one apparently into the garage, and the other one, I'm assuming, into the front of the house?
No, we've got a door for upstairs into the stairway. We've got a door for outside onto the patio, and then we've got a door that goes to the garage, which also leads outside.
It is a walkout in the back, Dave, okay?
From this area?
That is correct.
Okay, so there's a door back there someplace that's not indicated on the site plan?
It is there,
Where?
coming out the back.
Okay, it was not on the plan, though, is what I'm saying. I don't
It's
see it on
not
the
in the
plan.
highlighted portion. The
Okay.
highlighted portion's further up.
Okay, so
It's
it
accessible.
comes out of that area, that
Correct.
dedicated area,
That is
another
correct.
door.
Yes.
Okay. I don't have that.
Okay. Anything else?
I would like to see the ordinance for the home occupation, because it'd be nice to look at that. Does anyone know what section that's under?
Nope, but the only one that would know that would be that guy right there.
Might be 17, if I remember correctly, but
He's
I don't
got
have a book
memorized
in
something.
front of me. Article 3, maybe 17.
See, 18 is fire prevention.
I'm
but
not
there's,
sure,
like,
no.
there's no 17. There's a 14, and then it goes to 18. Maybe that's just the tab to go to the.
Go to Article 3 right at the beginning, it'll give you all your section numbers.
Yeah, Article 3, Section 17, in the book, it's under CDA 29, page CDA 29, on the bottom.
Page, yeah.
CDA.
CDA 29, it's on the bottom of the page. Look at the bottom of the
I
page.
see CD 15 colon 1.
Okay, go back further in the book. Towards the back, not towards the front, towards the back.
CDA what?
CDA 29. Up in the top on the right, it says Article 3, Section 17.
Thank you. And the limiting ordinance is C, occupation shall use no more than 25% of the floor area of 1 story of the building. So that's what is causing you.
Yes.
Okay, so that 32 square feet, how big is your first floor?
I think it's 1,400 square feet, and then the lower level's a little bit more than that.
Yeah. The lower level is a little more?
The house total is like 3,300 square foot, and it's a dual level, so.
Okay. And how big do you think your first floor is?
It's pretty much half and half.
Okay, so about 1,400 then?
Mhm.
Yeah, 14, 15.
So it's about 350, maybe a little up. So I'm just wondering, like, where'd that 25% come from? Why is it 25%?
Because the PC at some point in its wisdom decided
That was it.
that was the standard.
So if someone wanted to have their whole first floor as a business, which in the old days that's super common, to live above where you work.
Remember, Ben, they also have the right to go to ZBA to change that number if they're not comfortable with that, okay?
So that's an option.
So there
for you.
is an option,
Mhm.
okay?
All right,
Okay.
cool.
Good to know.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sir, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to B, Site Plan Landscaping Company, parcel 61-11-400-0027-00, and that's on Apple Avenue. That, I believe, that's Rock Planet, if I'm not mistaken. Josh, would you have any comments you wanna make on this? And, let me look at what we've got here anyways. Have you started on that, making, oh, I see it here. Have you
Yeah.
started yet on that development?
It's not all the way finished. So my dad always had that separate driveway going out.
Right.
But that was before the stop sign, and I can see why, that's a inconvenience to have the driveway too close to the road. So we were just gonna back it up about, I don't know how many feet, like 500 feet back behind the stop sign. And
Maybe-
assume,
Sorry about that. Maybe I can give you a little history, okay? His dad owned rock planting for years, got approved by the Township Planning Commission. Then he wanted to expand to the west, okay? Bought that property. He was in the process of getting drawings and getting it to me, and COVID hit, okay? A lot of things have changed. Josh is now the owner, and we finally got things in order and got it back here. In the meantime, his dad had kind of put some product over there, and during COVID, a lot of things come to a halt, okay? But here we are trying to get it resolved, okay? Josh has done a good job since taking over, getting drawings to us and trying to get it back on track, okay?
Good, I like your
That-
schematics.
that help?
That's good.
Give you a little history of what went on, so.
Yep, that's great. Anybody questions?
Is that current driveway gonna be blocked off or?
yeah,
Okay,
yep.
that's great, yeah.
Just to let you know, Ben, the County Road Commission has a problem with that driveway that's real close to the intersection,
Right.
okay? And the county wants to see that go away. So I think Josh has proposed on his drawing for a driveway to the north, off Eck, I think it is.
Van Eck,
Van
yeah.
Eck, I'm sorry.
So the southern driveway is gonna be closed if you get permission to open the northern one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the road commission had a concern about the stability of the road. They suggest either that it be restricted in terms of traffic or that the road be improved to handle heavier loads. Are you aware of that?
No, as in,
Are you aware of that, Jeff?
Yes, I do
Okay.
get a copy of that.
Okay, you haven't discussed it with Josh?
I think a copy was sent to Josh. I'm not sure Josh got it in his hands, but
Okay.
it was sent to the facility.
Okay. So do you intend to use a new driveway to bring in product and take product out?
yes.
Okay, so we're talking about heavy loads,
Yeah,
gravel, sand,
Yep,
stone?
gravel
that kind of-
truck.
that kind of- Okay. What's a typical in and out in terms of trucks in a day, if you had to guess?
So
In
it
the
really
summer when you're
depends.
busy.
So in the summer, I'd say, and it really depends if they use that entrance or the other one. It's a 50-50 shot.
The other one being,
The main entrance.
which is
Um,
further
It's right over, oops.
further east down Apple.
yeah,
Okay.
the bigger trucks mainly just use that entrance to be able to turn around into the field and be able to get back out.
Okay.
That's the main use of that. Why we need that driveway.
The eastern driveway.
Yes.
Okay.
Right through here. They come up through here.
All right.
And then here, this right's over here. That's right.
Right. So the new driveway is going to allow them to get back further in your property, basically.
Correct.
To drop material, pick material up. Whatever.
Yes.
Okay. But we're talking about heavy trucking.
Yes.
And how many per day would you guess in the summer? I mean, if
Them
you
bringing in material, it could be 1 to 2.
Okay.
Nothing crazy.
okay.
Any other questions, guys?
You said you bring in trucks to the east driveway a lot,
Yeah.
but that gets pretty congested sometimes with small traffic too, can't it? So
Exactly.
this would be a good route to get the big trucks off of Apple Avenue in a timely fashion and not have to worry about backing up with the small.
Yeah, yep, and that's why a lot of the
Customers that
truckers
park
like
up there.
going in that Van Eck
Yeah,
section,
absolutely.
just because of that.
I think that'd be a safer route to get the large trucks off the road as well.
I agree with you.
Okay.
So what do you think about the road commission's concern about the stability of the road with the heavy truck traffic?
Honestly, I've never seen any damage to the road as long as I've owned it, and
But you haven't had the northern drive, you just had the southern drive, right?
no, because we were using that. There was a different drive there
on the
that
road
my
here.
dad had set up
That's what I'm talking
previously,
about, yeah.
and I never realized that it was a concern to begin with I thought it was already a permitted drive until it got brought to my attention when I got the letter in the mail, and I've been trying to resolve this ever since.
And how far, I'm not familiar with this piece, how far is that current drive off of Apple?
The main one,
The
or
southern drive on the west side,
the one that's there at
Yeah.
the moment,
yeah,
probably like 50 to 70 feet.
It's close.
it's close,
It's close.
okay. All right.
Okay. Good. Any questions anymore? Okay, Josh, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's go to C, special land use, home occupation, adult and home care, healthcare for 1 to 6 adults, parcels -61-11 -022 -300 -0020 -10 at 1914 Hilton Park Road. Anybody here for that?
That's 914.
914, I'm sorry, 914 Hilton
Yep.
Park Road. Thank you, Jeff.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am. Sir, you can come up if you want.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, our plan is to have a 6-bed assisted living facility for older aged adults, so 55 and older. And we have converted our upstairs to our living quarters, so we'll have the whole downstairs as the AFC.
Looking for that road. There it is. Jeff, you looked at this property too, didn't you?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And, you didn't see any major problem or anything with it?
No.
Any questions from the board?
Good evening, I do have one. Are either of you trained, or are you planning on bringing in, are you trained as this facility?
I'm a registered nurse.
You're a registered nurse
Yes, I am.
and RN by trade?
RN by trade.
Okay.
Been a registered nurse for over 20 years.
Okay, all right. And it'll be just be you, or
It'll be
are
me
you gonna
and
have
him.
employees, or?
Not in the beginning. We're gonna live there and stay there.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So do you have to be licensed to do this, I'm taking it?
We do.
Okay, and do you have the license?
Not yet. We're in the process of getting the
Okay,
license.
is this like the last step in the licensing, or do you have what are the other requirements in terms of the license?
The other requirements have been taken care of. I'm just waiting for her to get back with me. And we had to come here, the licensing agent from
Okay,
Mesquite,
so this is the last step in that?
pretty much.
Okay. Is this gonna change the REUs, Jeff?
It could possibly.
Okay, have you discussed that with the applicant?
I have not at this time.
Okay,
I didn't feel it was necessary until it gets approved.
okay,
Once that gets approved, I have to do an inspection, me and the fire, and, prior to that,
Okay.
I will have that discussion.
so some report gets generated by you that gets to
Yep.
Trudy or
Yep.
whoever it is?
To our committee
To
person.
the REU person?
Yep,
Okay.
REU person, probably better.
Okay,
What is a REU?
It's the sewer usage within a facility, okay? Being you have a home occupation, your sewer rate may go up, okay? All right? It's based on a scale that's generated by the county, okay?
is there gonna be signage on the property for this facility?
Signage?
Signage,
Or
like
like a sign?
Sign, yeah,
We'll have a sign on the house.
My son, he ordered a plaque,
okay.
12 by 12.
It's on the house, right?
On the
Yes.
house.
That's 12 inches by 12
Yes.
inches. Okay.
That's a
Just
little,
wanna
that's a
make
little
sure.
plaque. That's a little plaque.
Sure, you got a 12 by 12?
No,
Okay.
He's the one with the big bill.
No,
You know.
no.
Perfect, thank you.
Any questions for you guys?
No.
Board, any questions?
No.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Ma'am?
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Where are we at now? Number 4, is it? Discussion.
Yep.
Five.
Discussion. Oh, discussion. Close hearing, yeah. Do we have any, we didn't have any close hearings, did we?
You need to
You
close
need to
the
close these three.
hearings that you just
Oh, excuse me.
talked about, okay?
Okay.
Unless there's any other
Any-
discussion
yeah,
first.
I forgot about that. Anybody want to say anything else about this? Any comments? Okay, any public comments about this?
You gotta close the hearing first,
Okay.
okay?
Yep, and motion, close this one,
So moved.
So, second.
second? Everybody, aye?
Aye.
Nay? Okay, it's passed. Any public comments, any public comments? Anybody? Anything else? Okay. And let's go to,
Number 7,
what's that?
number 7,
Number 7. Oh, there it is, approval minutes of November 12th, okay, that's the one earlier, okay.
yep.
Okay, approval, November 12th. Where are we? You got it?
Just to review this one real quick,
Yeah.
we didn't actually hold this meeting,
We
correct?
ended up passing, it was canceled, was that?
This would, yeah,
Due to lack, we still should approve
It's not
because,
approved because
just the agenda?
yes,
Yeah, so
just
I
the
guess
agenda.
yeah, so I just, I guess for a quick comment, that we did not actually hold this
no,
meeting.
no,
so-
that's what threw me
Uh,
off because we
yeah.
didn't have anything on it.
So-
Okay, yeah,
Yep, so I'll move to,
moved it, okay.
Yep.
Second,
Second.
Ben, okay. Approval? A, yeah. Nay?
Yeah,
Yes, okay.
yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, pass. Reports, reports of the township,
Yep, number 8.
number 8, that's the one. No, we actually, no, we don't have that, we have reports from the township board, isn't that the one?
Yeah, there may not be no minutes
There's
in
no
there due to
minutes
the
for
fact that we're 3 months
Yeah.
yeah,
out.
we don't hold
We
it.
don't have any.
Okay,
So we'll just go on to 9,
yes,
reports from the township board. And the only one I could think of is the one from the December 16th, for the special meeting that they had. That's the one that I'd like to be able to vote on that one, December 16th.
usually at that
That's it.
time, what we do is the person who represents the planning commission from the township board may speak about maybe something the township board brought up about ordinance stuff or whatever, okay?
Do you have
I
any
think that
comments?
would be you, Ben, if
Ben?
there's anything that the township board may have talked about that you wanna share with the rest of the
Of that,
people of the audience.
that's on the 16th, right? December 16th,
Yep,
okay, yeah.
I don't think we voted on or discussed much about ordinances,
sure.
but I do know that we approved, it's a story walk for Beals Park, and that's gonna be a nice addition. So anyone in the parks, interested in the parks, planning, that's relevant for that, because they're gonna actually, we voted to have the DPW design and submit, a pathway for that story walk in Beals Park. I know we already have some walkways, so that's actually why we chose that park. And so we want to kind of complement that and like integrate the existing footpaths into a new story walk. So that's going to be exciting for the park. And I would love to see kind of like some of our other park like planning, I guess, developments or anything that we want to do in the future for that. I know that we also have that pavilion that got approved for, there was an increase in the contract because there were some missing items. It was like with the trusses or something, they had to add an additional 1,800 for that pavilion at Pine Ridge. So that's an update there. So that's gonna move forward with that approved increase. So,
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mhm.
thank you. I don't think we have to approve that, do we?
No.
Reports from the zoning administrator.
Couple of things I got. We do have some interest going as we speak for the Wolf Lake Apple Avenue corner, would be the northeast corner. I've had a call on that. We've talked twice. I also got a big project possibly for Evanston Avenue. We're talking big building. I mean, they asked what the maximum height was for buildings and they want to do double what we allow. So I don't know what it is yet. They've called me a couple of times to ask questions about zoning and restrictions and what can they do and can't do. So as soon as I get something on paper, I'll be talking to you guys,
I got a quick
okay?
question. Yes, sir. What corner is that at?
It would be the old granny's kitchen.
Oh, okay, down, okay.
Okay?
and then the Evanston location.
It's somewhere on Evanston, that's all I can tell you. They didn't give me a specific location. They just said it's on your Evanston Avenue in your industrial area, which would be great.
So it's an industrial project.
Yes,
Okay.
for the height, they were talking over 100 feet, so.
Okay.
I mean, our max is, I believe, 60 in our ordinance book, but again, there's always ways to build taller, but there's a process, okay? We'll definitely have the fire included because more than likely if it's that big a building, we gotta look at all the fire issues associated with building a taller building.
That reminds me of the soil map that we have. It's a copy of a copy, and I printed the master plan from online, and it's just not legible, so I can't really tell what zones are what soils. So that's kind of useful to determine building height. And
Yeah, usually when we get to that type of structure or building, you have an architect involved and lots of soil samples are done prior to even getting to the actual drawings so they can determine how big of footings or, you know, whatever they're gonna need, you know, for the ground type of soil surface they have.
But do we have like a digital map, not a copy of a copy?
Not
Do you
I'm-
know-
not
do we
that
know
I'm
where we got
aware of.
that from?
The county may have, but we don't here. Okay?
Who's the contact for the county for that?
There's a couple of them down there. I can get you that information if you would like. I'll have Cassidy send it over to you.
Yeah,
Okay?
I would like something that's
Yep.
not like just a printed, but more digital. I know they should have that.
We'll see what we can get you.
All right.
Okay?
Cool, thanks.
Yep.
Anything else, sir?
That's about it at this time.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Yep.
New business, and that is, now we're gonna get the vote on this, I believe. Number A, special land use and the home daycare at parcel 61-1-028-300-0019-00 at 5771 Whipple Trail. And do I have any support on that? Motion to accept?
So moved?
Sir?
I'll second.
Oh, second? Okay. Ben first? Nate seconded. Everybody aye?
Aye.
Nay? It's accepted. Thank you. B, site plan, landscaping company, parcel 61-1-021-400-0027-00 on Apple Avenue, and I forgot the address. Is that 5428? No, that's
No,
not.
that's the township.
That's the township.
Yes.
What's the address on that?
Probably Apple Avenue.
It's
What's your address?
6208.
6208? Apple?
914?
Yes.
No, it's
That's the,
sorry, this is the.
Oh, that's right, my bad.
The shop address is 6190.
6190?
Is this parcel off from the shop though?
Yes.
This
What's
is
this one's address? Oh, it's all together.
It's all
Yes.
together, yeah, it's
Okay.
all together. Okay, acceptance of that, motion to accept?
So moved?
Okay, Ben?
Second that.
Nate?
Who was
Brock.
this?
Brock, excuse me, Brock seconded. It was aye?
Before we,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have a question. I have a concern about the road commission's concerns, so I guess I wanna know, you know, what the applicant intends to do in terms of addressing the conditions that the road commission has raised, because if the road has to be, you know, 5, 10 years from now, 2, 3 years from now, if the road has to be improved, I mean, part of that's gonna come out of the property owner, but part of it's gonna come out of the township, and part of it's gonna come out of the county. I'm concerned that, you know, who's gonna front that money when the road has to be repaired because of the truck traffic. And the truck traffic apparently is gonna be fairly heavy truck traffic, according to the applicant. 1 or 2 trucks a day during the summer, but with heavy material going in and out. I'm not familiar with Van Eyck, so I don't know what the condition of the road is currently, but it's a residential road as I understand it. So I'm guessing there's not a lot of truck traffic on it currently. And this driveway is gonna be considerably further north off of Apple Avenue than the current drive, which means there's gonna be more traffic from Apple to where the drive enters the property. So I've got some concerns that the road commission has concerns about the road condition.
I think one advantage of that, Dave, I think one advantage of that is a dead-end street, dead-end road, so I think that's one of the advantages, because you won't have a lot of residential traffic. You'll have some, but it's not that you don't have a lot of traffic either. But I understand that part of it, yeah, because that does.
Yeah, the residential traffic I'm not concerned with, it's the truck traffic, it's the new truck traffic.
You know,
Basically, it's gonna be going further north on that road. So,
When the road commission brought up their concern, it sounded like it was just for the driveway, not for the actual road. Is there any concern that brought up for the road?
Jeff, do you know that?
I don't recall the letter exactly. I know the real issue was the driveway so close to the intersection. That was the big issue Paul had.
But they had a concern with the new driveway needing to.
Well, the new driveway is gonna have to have an approach for it. They won't allow it without an approach, okay?
So I'd like to make a quick comment on this as well. 1 or 2 trucks is not classified as heavy truck traffic, in my opinion. I've been a part of the trucking industry for 10 years. That's very light traffic. You're not shipping out more than 100,000 on a gross truck trailer combo.
Not at all. And like I said,
Spread across axles with axle restrictions and drop axles, I'm sure, on all these trucks and trailers that are road rated to haul this material. So it's not necessarily a concern of tearing up the road, it's a concern of that corner to the current driveway, correct?
Yes.
So, in my opinion, this driveway to reduce wear or potential wear, you're making a 90-degree turn with dropped axles is gonna potentially be a concern of the road. If this driveway was angled like this one currently is, there's not as much road wear from the truck to the road as there is anything out that's on the road. It's the weight's spread evenly across the truck, the way they load it, professionally load it. They know how to load a truck. It's distributed across however many axles, and the truck's rated to haul. So it's all an equal weight distribution. So I don't really have it. I don't think the concern of the road. I think it's more getting a truck off of Apple for the safety of Apple Avenue. You know, you get a truck's backed up on Apple and they're sitting there and someone's not paying attention, they're gonna pack the rear end of the truck. And I think this is a great idea, and the concerns of the road are not as much.
And there will be a permit required through the county road commission, which they'll make him do an approach that handles,
Yep.
I'm sure, whatever he's hauling through.
And I have worked at the Mark Dock, and I've seen the Vander Blank trucks kind of double the, what do you call them? Tandem axle. And they're loaded down, and loaded down really heavy. So I can understand Dave's concern with that, because they are loaded heavy. But I'm not sure, you know, like you said, Brock, I'm not sure. If they don't, I don't think Josh, you don't have that double, what do you call it?
no, I don't have a double tandem. And I agreed with what Brock said, and I actually already planned to do that. It's easier for the truckers to go straight in instead of turn anyway.
Plus training equipment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just to clarify, Jeff, their concern was more of a general concern over time of wear and tear on the road, or they were already concerned with the condition? of the
Their
road?
main
I know you don't have it in
concern,
front of you, but.
yeah, their main concern, as I recall, is the entrance so close to the corner.
Okay.
That created a problem.
That's
And
their-
it does with the county road commission nowadays, even with driveways.
Okay.
They don't let you get only so close to the corner.
Well, and you're you're almost turning 180 degrees on this, so that is putting a ton of wear on a
Yes.
road just due to this whole fact of the trucks planting to the road.
Yeah.
And you're dragging tires across. If this driveway that he currently has was sitting where this is proposed, the wear and tear would be minimized.
Any more questions, guys? Any more questions, gentlemen?
I'd like the motion to approve.
Okay, and I think Brock seconded
There's
it.
already been a motion on the floor,
Yeah.
so we're in discussion.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And, everybody approve it? Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay? Okay, it's approved. Let's go to C, special land use, adult care, and that's parcel 61-11-1-022-000-0020-10 at 1914 Hilton Park Road. Any questions on any discussion on this, guys?
Motion to approve.
Okay, Ben? Nate, second. Anybody, aye? And nay? Okay, it's approved.
I didn't hear anyone say
Oh,
aye.
so,
It wasn't really clear what you were saying.
Oh, I'm sorry. Any approval? Yay?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. And, anybody, nay? Nope, okay. Approval. That's approval for that, home care. Review approval of 2025, oh, wait a minute, yeah, let's do that one. Review approval of 2025 meeting date, and the dates that already we have, I don't have a problem with them.
I don't understand the asterisks,
Isn't that for
Holidays and
holidays and
elections.
stuff like that?
Roger.
Yeah, in the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So
okay.
they'll move them, we'll move them,
Yeah,
so that they don't want to.
okay. I don't think we have to vote on that, do we? Okay. That was-
Yeah, no, we have to approve those.
We have to
Yeah.
approve the date, okay. Approval of the 2025 meeting dates, anybody?
So moved.
Okay, Ben, approval? Second, Brock?
Yep.
Approval, aye?
Aye.
All right,
Nay? Okay, so it's passed. The 2025 meeting dates are approved. Elect new chairperson, vice chair, and secretary. And right now, we have, Brock has agreed to,
Yeah.
Brock has agreed to chair.
I just wanna make sure.
Brock has approved a chair. Vice chair will be Nate?
well, I'd like to make a motion before we do this, to
Okay.
table this until the next meeting.
Okay,
So that we can, so that we can have some discussion. I don't, with us being in the first meeting, with this new group, I think we should have, possibly a workshop prior to the meeting.
30
Like
minutes,
like we've done before the site plan. So I'd like to move to make a motion, have a 30-minute, pre-meeting before the next meeting,
Okay.
to discuss the chair amongst each other and make sure that we're all on the, same page before
Okay.
we vote.
Okay,
I second that motion to table.
okay,
For 6:30 pre-session.
6:30.
For
Right.
6:30
Okay.
pre-session,
Yeah.
yep.
I'll make sure it's on
Thank
your
you.
agenda.
Yeah. Okay,
We gotta vote on- we have to
yep,
vote on
Nate,
that,
yeah,
so.
and Ben? No,
Ben.
first,
Ben seconded, yeah.
oh, it's Ben second, excuse me. Nate,
Support that.
yeah.
He supported.
Anybody, aye?
Aye.
Nay? It passed. Okay. Let's go to form a committee to create a street, is it street grid? Is that what that was?
It's an implied street grid.
Okay. And-
So we have issues with the current development patterns. We have a lot of loops, cul-de-sacs, streets that start and stop. and in the master plan, it is recognized as an issue, and that we need to help guide future development to help to connect those. And that helps with our fire department being able to get to different areas quicker, so they don't have to go all the way around just to go back. And so I've noticed that we have some newer developments, and even though this issue is stated in the master plan, it doesn't seem like it's like recent developments are being approved, or that this issue is being considered in newer developments. So I would like to create an implied grid so that developers can see this, and then when they're making their plans for the road configurations, or maybe it's just a subdivision, that they don't basically hinder future development on that grid or future connections. So that could be something as easy as not having a house at the very end of a cul-de-sac, so that in the future that could continue, or at a loop, like just keeping in mind how the future development of the township needs to be in order to be a connected grid.
I have a request, if it's okay with you, if we table that also, because I would love to be able to talk to Jeff.
Maybe to touch base real quick on that, we've had a couple of developments, and I've request that when they come to me with a preliminary, for a prime example, the subdivision that's on Maple Island, John Rapp Jr. built it. He had that completely filled when it first come to me as a preliminary. I told him, look, we got a lot of acreage behind you, how about you keep a 66 foot at the end? He redesigned the end with a 66 foot in it, just like you talk about. Same thing with Jeff, who just did the one on Chatterson. We got a couple outs on that one. It's something you planning commission can recommend, but I usually try and catch that at the preliminary when it comes to me before I get it off to you, okay? But good point, Joe.
Okay.
No, and that's something too that I think we've discussed with updating this, the master plan and the site plans, correct, for, the township. I think that was something we had discussed.
Yep.
With, making sure that was up.
Any kind of development that comes in, I've been trying to get them in front of you folks before they start their drawings. Because I don't want to see them waste money or time. If I can get them in front of you guys and you guys bring up stuff like that, they'll incorporate that right in their drawings, okay? It works good. It's called a preliminary meeting where they come at a regular board meeting. There's no cost to them to do that, but they get to talk to you about their project, okay?
But that has to be approved, put on the agenda, right?
It has to be put on the agenda as a preliminary only.
6:30.
There's no voting on it.
Explain that.
There's no voting on it. Say I want to do a subdivision or I would come here with a preliminary drawing, not a complete drawing, just a preliminary for you guys to take a peek at. You would get it in your packet. You wouldn't vote on it, but you get to comment on it. Help the developer and the architect develop this to what you guys are going to say, hey, this is a good project. Let's move forward.
Correct, but that's kind of arbitrary. So it kind of depends on who's like looking at it at the time, and it's not like we have a guide to show like, okay, this is how we want to connect Egelston Township, let's say, right? So we don't have, it would be part of our master plan, and it's not currently in there, just like we have different zones with different purposes, and we have different like areas that we want to see develop in a certain way, right? So this would be like an actual map that we can show to people and say, hey, based on our master plan, these are the road connections we need in order for our fire department and all these like collector roads to kind of be seamless, and in the future we want to see these connect like this. So that's kind of like something visual that people can see and developers can tangibly see ahead of time without having to come to a meeting. Like those are things that people need to know ahead of
And
time.
I appreciate your thoughts, I really do appreciate your thoughts, but the only thing, the other thing I was thinking about this too is, because I've gone to the road commission to discuss an issue, and so you're gonna run into county, we're gonna run into state, we're gonna run into some federal regulations, we're gonna run into a lot of different things, and so I really appreciate Jeff's looking into things and looking and saying, okay, we might have a problem in this area. Part of the reason because it's constantly changing and some things, and at the same time, we have so many rules and regulations, federal, state, local, everything, county, that it's almost overwhelming for me when I was talking to the road commission about certain things. It was and something that came up this past year, last year, excuse me, and so, and I like your thought about that, I really do, but I think that if we could table that for right now and get some more discussion with him, maybe at 6:30, the next time we meet at 6:30, dated,
Sure.
pre-planned, we can discuss this some more and try to come up with a more solid thing that we come up with.
This is to form a committee to create that grid.
Okay.
So currently our development patterns are unplanned and they don't follow a cohesive, they don't even follow the goals of the master plan because we don't have laid out like objectives for a street grid. And that's not just, I mean, everyone kind of needs to know like how do they want their community to develop in the future.
Yeah.
So
You're right, and I'm.
So this is
I'm
just
off
a
of that.
committee to
Yeah.
look at that and to propose. It's not like creating or doing anything
Okay.
without the board approval.
Okay, let's table that and just we'll discuss more on that, because I like that idea, but I just think that we need to discuss it a little more, get some more time to think about it also, because I like that idea, there's so much going on that as far as I know out there that.
I understand.
Yeah,
I just
would
don't want
love
it. I don't want it to be tabled
No,
into obscurity
No.
or just like we have no
no,
real
we
goal
won't-
for
we won't do that.
like moving
No,
forward.
I'm all for it, I really am, I'm all for it.
Remember, anytime something's tabled, it goes back on the next agenda.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, it goes,
Just-
yeah.
just
Okay.
for your information.
Okay, but that's a good thought. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. Number 12, old business.
Before we move on, I think we need a motion to table it
Yes.
because that was,
Oh, yes, I'm
that was an
sorry.
agenda
Yeah,
item,
you're
so
right.
we need to
Yeah,
deal
did
with
you-
it.
This,
You actually made a motion, correct? Did you make a motion for that, or did you not?
No,
I didn't make a motion
No,
yet.
Okay.
there's
Go
no
ahead,
motion on the
Ben.
floor.
So there's no, okay.
No.
All right, I just wanted to double check, so.
somebody made a motion for that?
I would
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to make a motion to create a committee to create an implied grid for future to guide future development.
Okay. Anybody second it? Any second? Okay. Nope.
So then I would like to make a motion to table it.
Okay, this motion to table this. Anybody second that?
I'll second the.
Okay, Brock seconds it. Everybody, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay? It passed. Okay. Old business, and we've been discussing this already, the master plan for 2024, Parks and Rec plan, and the sign ordinance, which you were discussing, Nate. This is something that we're still working on, and I believe that Jeff and Cass.
Yeah, I didn't want to get too involved with it. You guys had a pretty big agenda tonight. We were getting the Parks and Rec plan. We were real close to finishing with the last board, but with you folks, I want to get stuff redone off for you guys and get you back on speed. Because the Parks and Rec plan, I went through page by page, but there's still stuff we need as a board to look at. So I'll try and at least get some of that ready for you for next meeting, okay?
Okay.
And we'll start there and then jump into the master plan. We have now got it all downloaded on the system, so we can make changes whatever we want, and it'll be done for the next day. So that's a plus, okay?
Okay,
And just for the new board members, we have been, prior to today, we have been meeting also a half hour before to work on those things in work sessions.
Yep.
That way we don't, take up the public's time during the board meeting, so.
Yep.
And that we actually made a lot of, gain.
Yes.
With those half-hour work sessions prior to the actual
Good.
planning commission meeting.
Good point.
So as we're doing with the other one, so I think maybe moving forward, we probably, after next week, we should probably get back to that, including with the master plan.
That would be great if we could do that for a few meetings to help
Yep.
get this Parks and Rec and master plan completed as fast as we can. We're behind now due to,
Yeah, the biggest issue we had too is we didn't have a board representative, so, we sent some things back to the board, at the time, where we didn't really have, other than Jeff kind of representing what we were looking for.
Yep.
We didn't have a board representative to kind of lay out what our major goal was with the master plan and the parks plan. So, now that we do, we have someone in place for that, I think we'll be able to move forward
Yep.
with that pretty quick, so.
Actually,
Because we
we-
definitely need to get that done for.
yeah, we've got Cassidy in charge here in the office. So anything we change or do will go directly to her and it'll get changed the next day. So we didn't have that up until about
Yeah.
6 months ago. So
Yeah.
now we got that all worked out. And like I say, I think we can get this taken care of in
Yep.
a few meetings.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
How long has this been in the works?
Probably a good year,
Yeah.
year and a half.
Yeah.
But we've changed chairpersons, we've changed,
We didn't get serious until about 2-3 months ago.
yeah,
We did get serious until. yeah, 2-3
but our
months ago.
members have changed
Yeah.
totally.
There's a significant amount of back work that had to be done just before we even set up.
Huge.
Which Jeff and Cassidy have done amazing.
Yeah, it's
But yeah, there was a ton of back work that had to be done just to get the plan in place for us to even start reviewing
Yeah.
it and looking at what we wanted to do to move forward, especially when it comes to the park and rec plan. I mean, there was stuff in there that, was 30, 40 years old that it doesn't really apply to what we wanted, as a township moving forward, so.
We done our best to update you guys with information in there, but we had to go page by page through it. So
Yeah.
it's the best we can do now. We as a group gotta go from there and finish it up.
I
Okay?
suspect that a half hour in Parks and Rec isn't gonna be enough.
Oh, absolutely not. We'll be working on
No,
it.
it's a continuation.
Yeah, it'll be on here each meeting. I'm not gonna pull it off
So
until
every month we're gonna work on it 30 minutes.
30 minutes if the
Yeah.
chairperson, he's the one who calls that meeting.
That's
I can't do
That's a
that.
snail's pace.
Yeah, I'll come
to
in
me.
and, what's that?
That's a snail's pace to me.
Yeah, it is. But before 3 months ago, when we got real serious about it, before that, it just sat dormant.
Yeah,
Then nothing was happening.
That's unacceptable.
So it's moving along a
Well,
lot faster.
And that's why I said there was a lot of back work that had to
Yeah.
be completed, just to get it sat dormant prior to even us looking really
Yeah.
deep
Yeah.
into it to update it, so
Can
that was.
we
so-
schedule a work meeting
well, that's,
other than once a
That's-
month,
we're
30
gonna-
minutes?
We actually we would have to meet with Joan Rabb and the supervisor, and part of the reason because they have to know what we're up to, what we're doing.
We
have
can
to meet
tell
with
them, right?
We have to talk to them and let
Yeah,
them know,
we got
because they,
And it has to be open.
it has to be
It's gotta be
like
open.
this.
and again, you wanna do it the night of the meeting, otherwise board members have to be paid.
Well,
Okay.
That's what you have to get approval on.
It's the
is if they're gonna
OMA, the
approve to
OMA
do-
meeting that we talked about earlier, the Open Meeting Act,
Mm-hmm.
that's where it's coming from, and they don't want us to have any closed door agendas because.
I wasn't even thinking
No,
that.
but I mean, that's what they're gonna bring up,
And even like extra work sessions, we haven't been able to have extra
No.
work
They
sessions.
wouldn't approve that, or
Correct. no,
we just didn't want
But
to?
we got approval for 30-minute work sessions
That's
prior
all I
to
got
the
approved.
meetings, so that's why
But-
it's taken so long.
That's what, the only approval I can get.
So, yep, and he worked on that for,
But Ben, once you see the copies of which I'll get you for next meeting, you can now speak at the board meeting about the planning commission and say, hey, look, we need a work session. We, as a board, need to approve.
Would everyone be willing to meet every other week, or just basically twice a month?
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I don't, but again, talk to the main board. and see what
But
they say.
again, you wanna make sure everybody, I mean, are you donating your time or are you doing it to be
No.
paid?
yeah.
You should be paid if you're coming in here
And then it
working.
I think
becomes a
that's
budget
definitely-
issue, and then it becomes a timing issue, because you have to have notice, Joan's gonna have to publish.
Those are all like really easy things.
But they're
Well,
costs.
You would think they
You
would
would
be,
think,
but
but it gets really.
They're not always.
And the cost is like, we we can afford it. Like, that's not an issue.
Well, that's something that the board has to decide
It's
whether
just,
or not
it's just
they,
willingness.
they want, right, and
But,
that's something the board has to
some-
decide.
Something you might wanna do, Ben, under public comment at your next board meeting, talk about, hey, the planning commission has been
No,
talking
it'll
about.
be an agenda item, and it'll get approved. It's not hard. None of this is hard,
Well, we hope.
especially when we have a master plan that's been sitting for a
A year and a half,
Yeah.
yeah.
I hate to tell you this, man, but I said the same thing you said. I was sitting there, what? I went and talked to John and John and everybody says, come on. I said, no, the MOA will stop that. We cannot do that. And I'm serious.
MOA.
Open Meeting Act.
That's
That's old.
yeah.
OMA, okay. But that's, seriously, I was like that. We need to get going on this thing, get it approved. But no, it's like, hold on, slow down.
So we've been working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me, it's getting late now, but, anybody, I'm not gonna, I don't think we have to approve this stuff, do we, or?
Nope, it's just
It's just
so sign ordinance, same thing.
I can make sure it's back
Yeah,
on the
we're working
agenda
on it.
again.
Okay.
Yep,
What, sign ordinance, what?
it will be back on the agenda for next meeting if
Oh, that's what
you
we
guys
kicked
want.
back to you guys about looking at, like, temporary signs, isn't it?
Yep.
Temporary signs,
Okay.
all different sizes.
I remember that.
We just haven't met in
Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah. Yep, slow moving.
Let me go to 13, public comments. Any public comments out there? Anybody wanna say anything? Yes, sir.
So about those public,
What's that?
Yeah,
Go ahead,
step
Josh.
up there, yeah.
so about those signs by the road, is that in act right now? Is someone able to put a sign by the road? Because someone had told me it was passed, but hearing that,
Past.
We haven't updated any of our sign ordinances currently.
Okay, I was just
Our
wondering-
current ordinance is correct and still in effect.
okay, because before John Holter had told me that it was changed, so I was just making.
I think it was
And that's probably why the
reinterpreted.
signs might have got taken down, so yeah, nothing, we didn't approve anything to update any sign
We
ordinance.
haven't been changing anything yet.
So,
Yeah,
Okay.
we haven't
Yeah.
met since.
yeah,
All right, thank you.
yep.
Anybody, any public comments? Okay, thank you, John. Any board member comments here? Any comments from the board? Anything?
I have something. I noticed. All right, we in the master plan it notes that we have our fair share of trailers in the trailer park, and I noticed in the master plan there's a maximum ratio of 1 trailer unit per 2.5 single family detached houses. That's a really big ratio. That's like trailer town, right? So I think we need to revisit that ratio to be much less.
Yep. You're not,
We changed that and it's like none of this would have happened like years ago. We don't get hardly any tax revenue from the trailer parks.
yeah,
All
that's-
that money goes to these large conglomerates that are not even in our state,
Yeah.
and they suck
That's
that money
yeah.
out.
They
They buy these trailer parks, and the goal is to get as much money out of the people as possible and to spend the least amount possible, and they suck it all out of our state. And those people are paying like sometimes 3 times as much as a house payment for a single family house, and they're paying no property taxes, but they're shelling out tons of money. It's not going to our community or anything. We need to stop it. That's nuts.
Yeah. You're right about that. You're right about that also, sir. I that's been going round circles. I approached the board about that, and that's still on their. I think that's still on the hopefully their agenda to hopefully to try to figure out. But
Well,
that's
it's not
another thing.
really.
That's another. Well,
I
that's
think
another,
they're waiting on us to kick it to them, but I would like to.
that's what I said to the board, to your board, to the main
yeah.
board, to the
Just,
main board.
They're
just
waiting on
to
us.
do a quick comment on
Yeah.
the expansions of the park that happened on Carr Road.
Yeah.
They did own that property. It was zoned proper for expansion someday. It's very tough for this township to stop something
Yeah.
that is zoned and owned by that
Yeah.
you know.
Like they've already
use, I
purchased
should
it with
say.
that in mind?
Yeah, like-
It had been their property for years, okay? It was
Been in this
zoned
community for probably-
for trailers.
Yeah, so I lived there when I'm almost 40 and was there when I was born.
Yeah.
So they've owned that property for probably 50 years.
Long time.
So, to avoid any lawsuits, we don't touch it. We don't touch it all, so, that's why.
Yep.
So,
But, so then that would apply to new trailer parks.
But a good point is to maybe look at your zoning in any other area in the township that may be zoned for that type of use. You may wanna have that relooked at.
I wanna move that decimal point over one.
okay, okay. Anything else, gentlemen? Anything else? Okay, thank you very much, you guys, for your comments, your work here.
Just
Uh,
let
next-
them know next meeting.
Yeah, next meeting is February 4th, and everybody want to motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Okay, and second?
Second, yeah.
Nick, thank you. And everybody, aye?
Aye.
Nay? Yep, we're adjourned. Thank you very much, people.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.